Please take your seats. The program is about to begin. If you have an open seat next to you, please raise your hand. The program is about to begin. Please take your seats. The program is about to begin. If you have an open seat next to you, please raise your hand. Please take your seats. The program is about to begin. If you are having trouble finding a seat, additional seating and meals are located in Sapphire A. Please welcome to the stage ICE Board Chair, Jana Georgieva. Please welcome to the stage ICE Executive Director Denise Rosendahl and ICE Board Chair Jana Georgieva. This concludes our program for today. Please join us in the Innovation Hall for dessert and connection activities. Take your seats. The program is about to begin. If you have an open seat next to you, please raise your hand. Please take your seats. The program is about to begin. If you are having trouble finding a seat, additional seating and meals are located in Sapphire A. Please take your seats. The program is about to begin. If you are having trouble finding a seat, additional seating and meals are located in Sapphire A.
station. When the papa found out, he began to shout, and he started the investigation. It's against the law. It was against the law. Oh, what the mama saw. It was against the law. The mama looked down and spit on the ground every time my name gets mentioned.
Please take your seats. The program is about to begin. If you have an open seat next to you, please raise your hand. Please take your seats. The program is about to begin. If you are having trouble finding a seat, additional seating and meals are located in Sapphire A. Please welcome to the stage ICE Board Chair, John Yorgieva.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the ICE Awards ceremony and luncheon. We have 795 attendees. Incredible. So we need 5 volunteers to go out to the cloning machine, and we'll get to our 800 goal. So any volunteers? No. Okay. Well, next year then. We're excited to take some time out of our busy week together to celebrate the accomplishments of our colleagues and recognize their great work in credentialing. Today's lunch celebrates thought leaders in our field, and we will thank those who have paved a professional path for us to aspire to. In place of holding an annual business meeting at this year's ICE Exchange, we held the annual business meeting on November 7th as a webinar. This format allowed us to have a broad audience reach and offer members a recorded option for their convenient viewing. You can access that recording and view more of the detailed information about ICE's future in the annual report located in the mobile app. Before we begin lunch, it's not really before anymore, put your forks down. I would like to thank our dedicated volunteers for their wonderful service to ICE this past year. Our volunteers are truly the lifeblood of our organization. It is because of you that we are able to accomplish so much and continue to create great resources for the credentialing community. Those of you who may not have been here for our keynote, I mentioned that we have over 200 volunteers, which is amazing. It's truly a machine that keeps our organization moving forward, and I want to thank the ICE staff for being there to support us and organize all of our activities. To highlight and recognize the efforts of our volunteers, we introduced the Volunteer Appreciation Breakfast this year. We hope our volunteers will join us tomorrow morning as we celebrate your accomplishments. I encourage everyone to become an ICE volunteer. I can tell you from personal experience that volunteering is very rewarding and expands your professional network and your knowledge. Plus, it's a lot of fun. Please enjoy your lunch. We will return to the program shortly with the presentation of the 2019 ICE Awards and the Career Ignite presentations. Thank you.
shoes. Yeah, yeah. I said, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop talking to me. Stop, don't stop, don't stop giving me Frozen into cars, white girls of the north, file past 151. They are the fabled lambs of Sunday ham, the HS norm, and they could float above the cars in circles if they tried. Laden power, I know to hide, to keep some hope alive, that a girl like I could ever try. So we just stood the hallway signs, a phantom and a fly. Follow lines and wonder why there's no connection, and we keep rolling eyes and cheap shots from the tribe. And we're off to New Marcus porch again. Another afternoon with the goat head tunes and pilfered booze. We wander through the mama's house, the milk from the window lights, family portrait circa 95. This is that foreign land with the spade on tans, and it all feels fine.
Please welcome to the stage ICE Executive Director Denise Rosendahl and ICE Board Chair Jana Georgieva.
Talking to myself, will I see again? We are always running for the thrill of it.
Before we present the 2019 ICE Awards, I would like to thank the generous support of the ICE Research and Development Program. If you contributed to the R&D fundraising program as a leader, patron, partner, or friend, please stand so we can recognize and thank you. I would like to especially thank our Dennis Falk ambassadors. Your generous support is the key to the success of the R&D agenda. Yesterday, we presented the 2019 Dennis Falk Ambassador Awards at the R&D Summit, but please, let's give them another round of applause. Each year, ICE recognizes individuals who have made outstanding contributions to the field of credentialing and to our organization. So let's get started. Our first award of the afternoon is the Next Gen Professional Award. This award recognizes a young professional who has created a clear career path in credentialing and is a strong mentor to others within their organization. We had so many terrific applicants to choose from this year that we decided to hand out 2 awards. I'm happy to present the first award to Ashley Bardsley. Ashley officially joined the Seacrest team and the credentialing community in 2015. Ashley actively seeks out and participates in professional development and networking activities, including ICE webinars and the Credentialing Specialist Certificate Program. Ashley looks for opportunities to present accreditation webinars and author articles in her role with Seacrest. Ashley is a volunteer and valued member of the ICE Career Pathways and Emerging Leaders Committee. Ashley's enthusiasm for her work and professional certification exemplifies the spirit of the Next Gen Professional Award. Please welcome to the stage Ashley Bardsley.
It's an honor to be selected as a recipient for the Next Gen Professional Award. I've had the opportunity to work with and learn from really smart and knowledgeable people throughout my credentialing career thus far. My Seacrest teammates, the colleagues and clients that we work with, and the ICE community as a whole. Thank you for this recognition.
Congratulations, Ashley. Our second Next Gen Professional Award recipient is Nora Duffy. As the Director of Certification for the California Water Environment Association, Nora plans and directs all certification program activities. Nora's passion for credentialing is contagious among CWEA's Board of Directors, staff, certificants, candidates, and key stakeholder groups. Her knowledge of credentialing best practices is vital in ensuring organizational support for CWEA's certification portfolio, as well as the development of new certifications. Nora is a collaborative thinker who enjoys working with and motivating individuals of different organizations, cultures, and backgrounds. Please welcome Nora to the stage to accept this award.
Thank you. It's an honor to be recognized by such a widely respected organization within the credentialing community. I've come to think of ICE as a true partner in my career, and they've provided me the education and resources that I need to become a recognized authority in my organization. Thanks to all the mentors out there that have taught me so much, and of course to my husband who keeps all the plates spinning at home, and if I ever manage to portray myself as a type A personality, it's because of him. And thanks to my boss, who I will now forgive for walking into my office one morning and saying, "So, are you under 40? Thanks.
Congratulations, Nora. Our next award recognizes an individual who created an innovative approach to a product, policy, process, or system that is transforming practice and achieving success in a unique and innovative way. This year's Innovator Award recipient is Jerry Reed. Jerry is the Executive Director of the American Registry of Radiologic Technologists, or ARRT, and he served in this capacity for 22 years. He is admired by his peers for his ability to take complex concepts and articulate them in ways that we can all operationalize in our own organizations. Jerry has implemented several innovative products at ARRT, including a video series to help improve communication with candidates and certificates. He also helped design the post-primary eligibility pathway, which allows the certified practitioner to augment their qualifications while working in their primary discipline. Jerry was also instrumental in developing ARRT's innovative approach to the maintenance of certification model, known as CQR. Jerry envisioned a reasonable model whereby requirements mirror those met in original certification. Candidates are assigned continuing education requirements based on diagnostic skills assessment. And whereas the initial certification required demonstrated clinical competencies, the CQR offers a reflective exercise where a candidate benchmarks professional activities to those of others in the same specialty. The process focuses on upholding standards in a way that respects the experience and integrity of the working professional. Please welcome Jerry Reed to the stage to receive this award.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be receiving the ICE Innovators Award. That was quite a long introduction. That kind of lots of stuff, I guess, goes along with me never being accused of being short-winded. Any innovation really has many sources for its creation. Certainly true of the innovations that ART has created. I'd like to mention just a few of those, starting with the ART Board of Trustees, who sets the expectation that we will be innovative. Certainly the ART staff, who creates innovative ideas, refines them, and implements them as well. On a broader scale, I'd like to thank the ICE board and staff for creating this community of credentialers, which is really an incubator of innovative ideas. I'd like to highlight one of the committees within ICE, the R&D committee. I served on that for a number of years, first under the leadership of Jim Henderson and later John Wickett. I served on task forces, which was really the source of a lot of the innovative ideas that we implemented. And I worked with a number of individuals, including Larry Fabry, David Swankin, Karen Plaus, Tony Zera, Pat Munson, Christopher Butcher, Andy Dwyer, Jim Stabinsky, and many, many others. I also want to thank our business partners, reflected by all the companies that are exhibiting next door. They help us find solutions to our problems, and they support our community of credentialers by being here. Thank you all very much.
Congratulations, Jerry. Our next award was recently renamed to honor Mary F. McCumber, ICE's Board of Directors public member and longtime volunteer who passed away this year. Mary McCumber was a great supporter of ICE and served on the NCCA Commission for 6 years and the Board of Directors for 2 years. The Mary F. McCumber Service Award recognizes an individual who has displayed exemplary service and commitment to the organization. This year's recipient is Michelle Nolan. Michelle is an ASTD certified professional in learning and performance with 20 years of experience. She serves as the chair of the main committee for the ICE 1100 standard update. Michelle's commitment to the standard is evident in her ability to guide the group's collaboration and progress. She has worked seamlessly with ICE staff, and her positivity and kindness welcomes new committee members and encourages the collaboration of ideas. Strengthening community and encouraging participation on volunteer committees can be as important as the committee work itself. Michelle, thank you for being a great contributor to ICE. Please come to the stage to accept your award.
Thank you so much. I'm truly honored to be the recipient of this year's Service Award. I wanted to share with you just quickly, I came to my first meeting of the ICE 10 years ago, and that was in 2009 when the name changed from NOCA to ICE. Anybody been coming here that long that they remember that change? It's truly been a journey over the last 10 years getting involved in the credentialing community. And serving as the chair of the main committee of the 1100 standard. Along that pathway, I ended up starting a company, Learn Ethos, that's dedicated to creating assessment-based certificate programs that follow those standards, and which are the ideals that we hold dear in terms of best practices. Thank you to all the members of the main committee that helped us with updating the 1100 standard, and the members of the ACAC that I've served with over the last 10 years. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Michelle. Our next award is the Credentialing Industry Leadership Award, which recognizes innovative leadership in the credentialing industry. This year's recipient is Rory McCorkle. Rory is the Senior Vice President of Certification and Education Services for PSI. During his career, Rory has worked with over 750 testing organizations, including universities, licensing bodies, and certification programs. Previously, Rory served as the president of International Credentialing Associates, ICE. I'm so used to saying that. ICA, providing consulting for credentialing organizations. He also worked as the Career Resources Product Manager at IEEE and the Product Manager of Credentials at PMI, Project Management Institute. Rory volunteers extensively throughout the credentialing community. He has served as the chair of the External Stakeholders Working Group for ICE, which just released a multi-year project on the value of certification. He has also served on several boards, including as past chair of the Performance Testing Council, IT Certification Council, and the Credentialing Network Group known as CNG. Please welcome Rory to the stage to receive this award.
Well, thank you very much. As I was thinking about what I wanted to say today, I looked at the list of past recipients and must say I feel incredibly unworthy to receive this award and be included in that group. So Again, very grateful for that, joining people that I've known for quite some time, Cindy Miller-Murphy, Carrie List, Paul Grace, my former colleague Larry Fabry, among others. So many, many thanks. I'm immensely honored. I've worked in credentialing my entire career, unlike a lot of other people who I know have taken very interesting routes to get here. I started as a proctor in a test center. And so dealt with a number of your candidates for a number of years before ultimately working my way into test development. And I learned very early on that there was something incredibly unique about this industry. And so I have to say I'm grateful to many of you whom I've gotten to interact with that I would look to as mentors for really molding who I am as a leader today in the midst of this incredibly tight-knit community. And it's been a privilege, especially the fact that there are still folks in this audience that I worked with in my very first roles, and really the person you need to blame is Nancy Thomas Alawalia. She hired me at Prometric out of my test center into my first role, so either blame her, thank her, what have you. This award was really about two things, innovation and leadership, and certainly there's a lot of innovators I've learned from over the years, but when it comes to leadership, there's one person that I have to thank the most, and that is my father. And he exemplifies a number of things that I strive for as a leader, but ultimately fall very short of an incredibly patient man with genuine kindness and incredible thoughtfulness. And his consistent presence as my sounding board, as I've developed in my own career, has been invaluable to me. So I want to thank him as well, and again, appreciate the honor of this award.
Congratulations, Roy. I am proud to introduce our newest award, the ICE Research Award. Research and data are so prevalent in the work that we do, which is why we created an award that recognizes an individual or organization that is conducting credentialing research with an impact on credentialing best practices. This year's winner is the National Board of Certification and Recertification for Nurse Anesthetists for their beta research study on the Continued Professional Certification Assessment, or CPCA. The focus of this study was to determine if the use of resources and the method of test administration for the CPCA impacts performance, testing experience, and fidelity of the exam. NBCRNA gathered data through pre-assessment and post-assessment surveys taken by 1,500 certified registered nurse anesthetists. The resulting data led to many changes in their testing requirements and were published in the Journal of Nursing Regulation. Please welcome to the stage Dennis Spence from NBCRNA.
Thank you. This is my first meeting at the ICE, and I'm really excited about what I've learned and everybody that I've met here. I'm hoping I get invited back. This is really an award for our Research and Advisory Committee, and we are really humbled and proud that ICE has recognized the research conducted by the NBCRNA. As you heard, the study that we did, I think this is a prime example of how you can use evidence to drive board decisions and policy changes. And I think this was both a combination of the research evidence we brought and thoughtful discussion with our committee to help inform the recommendations to our board. And so I really want to thank them. And at the NBCRNA, we have a visionary evidence-based evaluation and research plan for all of our credentialing programs, and that will continue to contribute to the credentialing community. And I really want to thank the NBCRNA board, the staff, and our many volunteers for their contributions on this project. Thank you.
Congratulations, NBCRNA. Our next award is ICE's most prestigious award and recognizes longtime outstanding achievements in the credentialing industry. The recipient of the 2019 Lifetime Achievement Award is Jim Henderson. Throughout his career, Jim has made countless contributions to the certification industry. He has served as a chair and psychometrician for the NCCA, National Commission for Certifying Agencies, and he has given countless hours in dedicated service, including leadership of various task forces that researched, wrote, and validated the accreditation standards for NCCA. He served as the editor of the 3rd edition of the newly released ICE Handbook, coordinating the collaboration of more than 50 authors. He also wrote the chapter on job analysis for both previous editions of the book. His dedication to ICE is unrelenting. Jim has served as a member of the ICE Board of Directors, chaired the ICE Research and Development Committee, served on the Assessment-Based Certificate Standards Development Committee, and remains on the ICE Leadership Council. I present this award to Jim Henderson with a huge thank you from everyone within ICE. Jim has been a joy to work with in this ICE Handbook edition. Jim, please come to the stage to accept your award.
I'm overwhelmed. That doesn't happen very often. I was reminded in Rory's remarks, though, that I first got into testing, and I'd forgotten all about this, that as a college freshman, I proctored the SATs at the high school that I went to. And the next summer, I was a room supervisor. I think I was paid $5 an hour at the time. Forgot all about that. It seems crazy to me that this award is being given to me. I can think of a lot of people who would be absolutely astonished to know that it's happened. I just didn't work hard enough in high school. And my teachers said over and over again that I was an underachiever. Well, you know, I knew that wasn't exactly a compliment. But I knew people that I thought were overachievers, and it seemed like a better thing to be an underachiever. There at least was hope that you could make it for a better day one day. But my mother, as watching me grow up in my teenage years, was always concerned about my slovenly habits. And so we were visiting a family member, and I failed to refill the ice tray. Yeah, I've got gray hair. We used to have ice trays. Some of you might know what they are. And if you don't refill them in Savannah, Georgia, you don't get ice. So my mother was chastising me about that. My sister took every opportunity that presented to remind me that, you know, I was really a bad slouch. But the person we were visiting saw the whole thing, saw my mother's frustration, and said that, you know, I was a slouch. But she tried to comfort my mother by saying that he's not yet the man that he may become. So I've been fortunate in my life to have many opportunities to learn from great leaders. I'll spare you the whole list. It would fill this room. But there are a few people I'd like to mention. The first is Paul Grace. He's not here today. His term on NCCA ended the year before mine began. And as circumstances would have it, we became very close friends. And he mentored me in ways. He had been Dennis Falk's mentee. Dennis Falk is the person this award is named for. And so I feel like, you know, as they say in music, you want to find somebody with a direct line to Beethoven if you're studying piano. And so I feel like I have one generation away from the guy who created it all. Paul's understanding of the mission of certification and that he developed in being protege to Dennis Falk was just extraordinary. And it was a real pleasure, especially because he's so funny, to learn from Paul. Another person I'd like to thank is also not in the room is Jeffrey Lariche. I was the 7th employee at Columbia Assessment Services in 1991, and I watched that company grow under the leadership of Jeffrey Lariche. He did appoint me beyond my competence to the leadership team of the company, and that required me to learn a little bit about financial matters and strategy and things like that for operating a business. But it was through that process that I really enhanced some understanding, at least, of the business of certification. And so I'm really grateful for the opportunity that he gave me for that. My first clients, back when we were only 7 at CAS, the BOC, Denise Vandell was committee chair for one of the exams that they did. And she excelled at that and became their executive director in 1997. And the collaboration that I had working with her and her wisdom and judgment is just superb. The American Council on Exercise was another early client that I worked with, and I learned so much from them. I also learned my way around San Diego working with them. But the staff that way back then were no longer on the organization, but as the succeeding staff have taken place, it's just been really fun to maintain that relationship and that wonderful collaboration. Worked with lots of clients, and I want to thank all of them for the things that they've taught me. Linda Lysobi, whose contributions to this organization are not inconsiderable at all, nominated me for this award. And I'd like to thank her, and I'd like to thank the people whose arms she twisted to support that nomination. She gave me those letters this morning, and I have to tell you, it's overwhelming. Sorry. So, as the 7th employee, we grew and merged into Scantron. And I want to say, I mean, these 2 tables here are filled with the people that I work with every day. I love you guys. And it's just really been a wonderful opportunity to work and serve the industry with you. Denise Rosendahl invited me to edit the 3rd edition of the handbook. And so that's the most recent activity that I've been engaged with the organization. We had 53 chapter authors who stepped up to the plate. I wanted the very best and brightest, the most qualified people to write those chapters, and I believe we got it, and you proved yourselves through all of your work and the research that went into that. I'd like to thank Doug Rosenbaum in particular. Doug is on the staff of ICE. He and I talked at least once a week, sometimes every day, solving problems, planning, navigating our way through this project, and he proved himself to be a great professional. So I want to thank you for trusting me with some really important work. Most significant is my wife, Jane. She's at the table here. We raised 2 wonderful daughters. One is here, Alice. She's begun signing her emails to me as your greatest lifetime achievement. In December, she will finish the credentialing professional program and is developing a nice career in certification, so I'm very proud of that. My daughter Emily is in school right now and unable to be here because of tests that she's taking. She'll be qualifying to become certified through some of the people who are in this room today, and I'm really proud of her. Early in our marriage, Jane challenged me to make some choices, and I'm lucky that those choices gave me the opportunity to work in a field that I love. Thank you, Jane and Alice and Emily. So it's been a great run so far. I appreciate the award, and I'm humbled that my name is added to the list of its recipients. But I want to be clear that I have not yet reached my use-by date. And I hope to continue on for a long time to come. Thank you for this great honor.
Congratulations, Jim. You're a personal inspiration, and to those in this room. And thank you so much for giving hope to those of us who are underachievers. Congratulations again to all of our award winners. Over the years, ICE has paid close attention to the possible career paths of a credentialing professional. As many of you can attest to, a career in credentialing can take many different paths, and those paths are not always linear. When you started your career, you might not have known where credentialing was going to take you. This is why I was impressed by the work the Career Pathway and Emerging Leaders Task Force has been doing over the past 2 years. Through survey research, the task force identified the many different avenues a career in credentialing can take you. This work will help ICE develop paths that are pertinent to career building and provide mentor opportunities for those new to the credentialing industry. Thank you to Pam Weber and Nick Soto for leading this effort. Today, we welcome 5 professionals in varying stages of their careers to share their career pathway stories. Now I would like to turn the stage over to Jared Ignite Zern, ICE member and Director of Examinations at the National Council of Architectural Registration Boards and member of the 2019 Program Committee, to help us navigate the Career Ignite presentations.
So thank you, Jana. And as Jana mentioned, all of us that have come into this credentialing industry have varying pathways, and we know that about each other because we share our stories. We oftentimes arrive, we move up, down, sideways possibly, to pursue new opportunities and take on those challenges that we love and help us to grow. Today, ICE has invited 5 professionals to come and share their story with you, but to add some interesting challenges, because I think we all like a little challenge in life, we're going to only give them 4 minutes and a slide deck that automatically advances. Yes. So, as you listen to their presentations, what we'd like you to do is really reflect on their story and see how it connects with your own. Listen for those nuggets that are going to allow you to help others in this room as they grow their career in credentialing. But before we get started, I would like to thank our coaches that helped these 5 presenters today. So we have Pam Weber from the International Board of Lactation Consultant Examiners, Nick Soto of the Construction Manager Certification Institute, and Dave Bump of the International Board of Specialty Certification. They helped our presenters prepare for the next 4 minutes of their life. So let's get started. So please welcome our presenters to the stage. We have Dan Duran from PTA Global, Doug Veland from Ascend Learning, Liberty Munson from Microsoft, Amanda Wolkowitz from Alpine Testing Solutions, and Wendy Miller from the Board of Certification Accreditation. So first up, we've always got to start with a new guy. That's the way it works, Dan. So Dan Duran will now share his career story.
So, Jared, you just stole my opener. I was going to point out the fact that I'm the newest to credentialing, and I'm going first, and we used to call that hazing. Fortunately, I'm not in a garbage can right now. Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, ICE. Thank you, Pam, for the assistance and the coaching. Jim, wow, congratulations, well-deserved, very moving speech. Cadet! Did you just come within 25 yards of an officer's presence without coming to the position of attention? 24 count push-ups on my mark. 1, 2, 3, huh! That's the world I came from. I still wear the pants because I'm too cheap to buy new ones. And I still spit shine my boots. You don't actually spit on them. My name is Dan, and I am the Executive Vice President for PTA Global, Personal Training Academy Global. That's my lovely family. We live in Colorado. At PTA Global, we have an NCCA accredited certified personal trainer program. And that's why I'm here, to learn. What I'm going to share with you is kind of a 20-year, 3-minute, in 3 minutes, a 20-year journey of learning. Where I came from, which I just showed you, was part of it. What I learned along the way, some of the challenges, and where I am today, and why I'm here today. So back in about somewhere around 1998, I really became passionate about teaching. I worked in law enforcement, and I became a POST, California Commission on Peace Officer Standards and Training, certified instructor, and taught certified courses, various courses at various colleges, at our own academy, and really became really passionate about the teaching process. I was very lucky and made it up to the level of captain, and was responsible for statewide training for all of our peace officers here in California. And so I would submit plans up to and including a 7-month police academy. And I thought I got pretty good at it, you know, approved. I'm like, oh, there's nothing to this, you know, I got this down. Well, then I retired and went into the world of fitness. And started, as part of that, was being asked to be a certification board chair. And I thought, oh, this would be good on the resume, you know, I'd JTA and write some questions, items, you know, a couple of meetings to head up. No big deal. This will be fun. Then in 2015, they hired me, and I became the liaison to the board, which involved other pieces of the puzzle, like you know, making sure we had meetings, submitting information back to the company, dealing with psychometrics and psychometricians. I was like, wait a minute, this is a lot like herding cats at this point. You know, I thought I had this down. So last year, I'm now the executive vice president, and I'm responsible for all of the submission to the NCCA. And now OMG, right? I think it was an eye-opener for me. What is 113? We're going to get a snapshot here, something like that, things that I need to submit. And I was really used to the accepted thing. And that was humbling to find out, nope, we need more information here, we need more information there, which really forced me to want to learn more and to understand the trade and the craft and the process and the accreditation a lot better. So part of that journey is being here, being surrounded by people a heck of a lot smarter than I am, going through the credentialing specialist program. I didn't finish in time for the secret squirrel lunch that we had, couldn't get that done. But really, you know, at PTA Global, we use a word in our training called Kaizen, which in Japanese means continuous self-improvement. And, you know, the old saying is if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And for me, my attendance here and interacting with all these great people really is about trying to become just a little bit better each day so that our program becomes just a little bit better each day. Our entire reputation and brand becomes just a little bit better each day. So thank you all for helping me become that. And I would challenge you to leave here today just a little bit better than you were yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dan. I think I learned 2 things in that 4 minutes. One, I never want him to refer to me as cadet, like ever again. And two, the fact that like from trainer to teacher to inside of the credentialing world, it's a very common pathway I think that many of us share. That's very exciting. So next up, we're going to hear from someone who actually was in our industry, left, but then decided to come back. So I'd like you to welcome Doug Wieland to the stage. And Doug, let's hear your story.
Thank you, Garrett. Yes. Well, my story is about someone who left the field of credentialing by retiring as CEO of International Accreditation Association. I returned to the credentialing field, but it was not in a CEO role, but rather it was in a role that you may not think of as a step down, but rather I consider it a step away from a career path to a new lifestyle. For 12 years, I brought success to ACBSP by tripling the number of members fourfold, created a new brand, we purchased our own building, and I also had a rewrite of our accreditation standards. It was a lot of work, and as I've said, I live the life of the motto that says, the only place where success appears before work is in the dictionary. Think about it. Our international growth included opening offices in Europe and in Latin America. I was a regular participant at business school conferences around the world. I enjoyed the work. I enjoyed the travel to other countries. I enjoyed the people I met and helped along the way. And I also enjoyed bringing success to the organization. So much so that I constantly used my time to what I enjoyed most, being CEO for ACBSP. At the time of my retirement, I had grandchildren in New Jersey. I had inherited the family farm in eastern Missouri, and I had church and volunteer opportunities that I wanted to give more attention, including a certified judge at barbecue contests. Ooh, yes. Yet I had career skills that I knew I could use if I presented the right organization at the right circumstances. That's where Ascend Learning came into the picture. I found a position that more fit in my lifestyle in terms of what to do at this stage of my life. First, as a full-time employee, now part-time, it represents working hours more suitable for my lifestyle. It's less demanding. I do not supervise employees or have the budget responsibilities. My commute is just over 1 mile, and I work remote. I now work 20 hours a week as a staff liaison to 3 certification boards, overseeing 10 certifications in 3 business units that are part of Ascend Learning. In my previous role, I had staff responsibilities for a board of directors and 3 accreditation boards. You can see the synergy. I'm also responsible for all accreditation-related activities. This tied well with my many experiences as CEO of an accrediting body. I not only knew how to use an online portal for accreditation applications, I did an RFP, selected a vendor, and then built the online portal. My thought on taking this position was, I can do this, and I can have fun in the process. Now, for those that would like to consider this step away in your career path, know that the decreased responsibilities are likely to lead to less compensation, but that's okay. You may be an empty nester, you may have retirement funds, but you will also need to reposition your thinking. You are no longer the senior executive, you're no longer in charge. Now, if you're an organization that is seeking to fill a vacancy, indicate that you're open to individuals who have served in senior roles and now are stepping to a different role. You are open to finding someone who has an experienced, capable employee that is not looking to leave the organization for another higher position or within your organization, but is there to make a contribution. Another benefit for you is that you now have someone on staff that fully understands senior staff roles. This person can be your advocate to your other staff, having been in your shoes in a previous position, and if asked, may be able to give you advice as an advisor or a mentor in your senior staff role. One of my greatest joys in my previous role was helping business schools document and improve the quality of their education. This reached down to the individuals that we both serve, the student and the business school. I now find great satisfaction in assuring certified individuals that their certification has met accreditation standards for quality and therefore more widely accepted by employers and a source of pride. Life is full of changes. The world we live in has a volatile stock market, a changing mix of generations in the workplace, and a constantly changing definition of what retirement is. Having this source of income and this level of engagement can add quality to your retirement, not take away from it. Thank you for this opportunity to share my story. Goodbye.
Thank you, Doug. I think part of things we learned there, one, I think we all want your 20-hour-a-week lifestyle. That's sounding pretty good. But I think there were some great insights into looking at ways to re-engage in the profession, into credentialing. And I would say, welcome back. Okay. Our next presenter, someone we all have grown to know quite a bit, is in mid-career in this credentialing industry. So please welcome Liberty Munson to share her career story.
I am Liberty Munson, Microsoft psychometrician, the one and only psychometrician managing over 100 exams and 50 certifications. I am exhausted just saying that. So how did a small-town girl from Iowa end up in the Emerald City working at a technology company when she knows nothing about technology? As Liam Neeson says in Taken, I have a unique set of skills. Here is my story. I grew up in Iowa, but was born in Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. It's unclear why my parents were almost at the hospital in Elkader when they had a change of heart and continued to Prairie du Chien. But I guess they wanted to drive across the Marquette-Joliet Bridge so I'd have an interesting story to tell later in life. Anyway, I grew up in a small town outside of Waterloo called Hudson. I think we can all agree I was a cute child. I'll even admit my sister was cute, but don't tell her I said that. As teenage years, we make bad decisions. I don't know what I was doing with my hair or what is on my head, but at least I have photo evidence of the first photobomb. Thanks, Dad. As I grew up, some of my passions have changed. I have always loved to solve puzzles, think creatively, and to read. To this day, I carry a book with me everywhere, even when I'm backpacking, and that's a serious commitment to reading when I have to carry that weight with me everywhere I go. And sometimes I have a little weight on my front. This is my dog Apex, and yes, she fits under my jacket. I had graduated from high school at the top of my class, and from there I went to Iowa State University where I studied psychology. I always knew I'd be a psychologist, but I thought it would be a counselor until I took an overview course, and the person who introduced IO psychology said, if you want to be a psychologist and you want to make money, this is where it's at. I took notice. So as a psychology major, I had to take a course in statistics. As a final project, I decided I would find out how many licks it took to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. The world would know. I bought a bag of Tootsie Pops and I started licking. Turns out the Tootsie Pop is not centered, and it took 92 licks from one side and the other 3. Turns out the owl was right. I graduated from Iowa State with honors and went to graduate school at the University of Illinois, working with Chuck Hewlin and Fritz Strasgau on their job satisfaction and sexual harassment research. Under their guidance, I learned a lot about how to design good research, how to write journal articles, and that it was not for me, and even more about statistics. In my 4th year, I did an internship at GTE and their employee selection group and fell in love with testing. After graduating, I had multiple job offers, but I knew flying out of Seattle that was where I would end up. So at Boeing, I helped them design their entry-level hourly test battery and introduced them to the concept of structured interviews, and which morphed into their Hiring for Attitude initiative, which, by the way, is still going strong. After a few years, there was a reorg that combined the employee selection and survey teams. Within a year, another reorg broke us apart. I decided it would be a growth opportunity to work on the survey, and it turns out I hate surveys. Interpretation is in the eye of the beholder. I love exams where interpretation is much cleaner and much more logical. So at the time, Microsoft was hiring a psychometrician, so I decided to take a leap into certification. So going to Microsoft got me back into doing something that I love, but I stayed at Microsoft for more than 13 years because I truly believe Microsoft is the platform that will help me change the world, well, at least the world of certification. So over the last 5 years, I have presented, discussed, and cajoled people into rethinking certification. The advances in technology are creating opportunities to assess skills in new ways that were unimaginable even a few years ago. AI, machine learning, telemetry, cognitive services, just to name a few, will revolutionize how we identify skills and measure them. and we will be much more accurate in our assessments. So this has been my journey to date, and I look forward to the next chapter of my story because I firmly believe we are on the cusp of doing something extraordinary in the world of certification and skills assessment. Until then, I leave you with this collage of all the things I love best that help me get me through every day, but I am out of time. The mountains are calling and I must go.
Thank you, Liberty. And there were a few words you said a few times in your presentation that I want to remind everybody of, which were the two words of love and passion. And I think that's what people bring to this career, and then they have those successful moments. So thank you for bringing your love and passion to credentialing. So our next speaker, also mid-career, someone I have the pleasure of working with on a regular basis, is Amanda Wolkowitz from Alpine Testing Solutions. Let's hear her story.
I first just want to say thank you, Pam, for your help, or Pam, wherever you are. All right. Hi, I'm Amanda Wolkowitz. I have a love and passion for psychometrics, also for running. That's me, ran a marathon last month. I've run it my whole life. I was so happy at mile 20 because I only had 6 more to go. So today I'm going to give you a little bit of a story of the making of a psychometrician. So to become a psychometrician, you need to have performance assessment experience, licensure and certification. You need to work with delivery vendors, experience with stakeholders. You got to know about scores, minimally qualified candidates, and a psychometrician should probably have some education. All right, so first thing, when I was 6, I got my experience with performance assessments. I've been playing piano for most of my life, started at the age of 6, and I did a lot of performances. So I started at age 6 and went through, did accompaniments all through high school and college. So first experience. The second ingredient after performance assessments is licensure and certification. I started my licensure and certification experience at the age of 12 when I became certified as a scuba diver. I did fail that test several times. I also, at 16, I got my driver's license on a Mazda pickup truck just like that. That was manual transmission. And I only drove on flat surfaces for a long time. And then, of course, I got a K through 12, not a course, but I was a teaching certificate. I was a deliverer of newspapers, Chicago Tribune and the local paper. Right there is a map of the route that I delivered the papers to, the actual route. Lots of customer experience, but I was a dependable deliverer. The next ingredient you need are stakeholders. I got a lot of experience with stakeholders working at Arby's. This is the actual Arby's I worked at. I was 15 years old. You can see there's a little, you might be able to see that sign. It says 2 roast beefs for $7. That was a current sign. When I was there, it was 5 roast beefs for $5. The next ingredient is scores. You can't have a test without scores. So one summer, I cleaned actually that particular gas station in DeKalb, Illinois. I cleaned every part of that gas station. The inspector came unannounced and gave it a score of 100 out of 100. So I passed. Well, the gas station passed. One thing about that gas station, that was actually the first one in DeKalb that had paid the pump, and they went under. The next thing is a minimally qualified candidate. I got my experience detasseling corn one summer. That's when you take the tassel off the top of the corn. So to be minimally qualified, you have to be tall enough. So I was minimally qualified, but then I became not minimally qualified when the corn grew, but I did not. And then you need education. So I was a Badger. I got my degree in piano performance, and then I was a Husky, NIU, got a master's in mathematics, and then I went to KU and got my PhD. And I have to confess, I had no idea what psychometrics was until I was in my PhD program. And then the final, put them all together, to get all the ingredients together. Why did I become a psychometrician? Well, in my humble opinion, it's fun. It was a good fit for me. It's challenging. It's valuable. Get to work with everyone like you. You're great people. And it's make cool graphs. But most importantly, suspense. According to my kids, a psychometrician is a psychomagician. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Amanda. As your picture stays on screen and we all get to see you as a psycho-magician. That's very good. And again, what she talked about there, she talked about that love and passion and fun, right? And getting to work with all the great people in the industry. So this is that opportunity, and I love how she said she figured it out when she was still in her PhD program, right? You didn't even know about it till then. We're not all Rorys that, are coming at this from the very beginning. Like, we come into this profession and we're embraced, which is fantastic. It's one of the best parts. So now, as we come near the end of our Ignite session, I do want to introduce our last presenter, who, as I like to say, is someone who is gracefully gliding into retirement. Please welcome Wendy Miller to share her story.
Hello, I am Wendy Miller, and I work for the Board of Certification and Accreditation in Owings Mills, Maryland. In the beginning of 2019, I stepped down as the Chief Credentialing Officer and took on the new role as Special Assistant to the CEO as I slowly worked towards retirement. Born June 14, 1963, yes, I'm a Flag Day baby, grew up in Chicago, Illinois. The 1970s are remembered as an era when the women's rights, gay rights, and environmental movements competed with the Watergate scandal, energy crisis, and the ongoing Vietnam War for the world's attention. The 70s was also known for bell-bottom jeans, tie-dye, peasant blouses, and bandanas. Simple times. No video games. The outdoors was our PlayStation. We would be gone for hours with no cell phones and no emails. We called friends on the phone or went to their house, and of course, there were classic cars. In 1982, my family moved to York, Pennsylvania, my mother's hometown. I was 19 and unsure what career path I would be taking. I started off working in retail for JCPenney's. This was a great place to work for a young girl because the employees received discount on the clothing. My journey continues as I found the love of my life 6 months after moving to Pennsylvania. The city girl meets a country boy. Our first date was at a restaurant eating steamed crabs. Being from Chicago, I'd never seen a crab, let alone eat one. When the waitress put a bucket and mallets on the table, I was beginning to rethink this idea. I have to admit the crabs were delicious and our courtship flourished. For 3 years we dated until we were wed in August 1985. Through the years we had 1 son and 1 daughter. Now that we have a family, it's finally time for me to figure out what I was going to do when I grew up. While working in the billing department for a durable medical equipment supplier, I became interested in our certified orthotist position. I knew I wanted to make a difference in someone's life by helping them to feel better. I apprenticed under her and sat for the orthotist exams with BOC. I became certified in 1994. My career path has begun, and I'm not sure I fully understood that at the time. I was so grateful to BOC to offer a pathway that allowed me to become certified that I wanted to give back to the organization. I started to volunteer as a subject matter expert. I found the process of developing exams to be extremely interesting, but at times difficult, especially trying to create plausible negatives for our clinical simulation exams. I was honored with the opportunity to serve on the board of directors for about 4 years. During this time, I was a member of 2 teams that created 2 of our 6 certifications. The creation of the As you all know, it can be quite arduous to create a certification. However, having the right people in the right seats have made both programs successful. Years have flown by, and it is now the fall of 2006 when I receive a call from the interim executive director asking if I would be interested in joining the staff at BOC to head up their accreditation program and later on their certification program. I turned the job down 3 times before they gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. I started on staff with BOC in January 2007. Over the past 12 years, I have seen BOC grow beyond my dreams, and I'm so grateful to have been part of this history. As I step down from the Chief Credentialing Officer role, I reflect on the many milestones I and BOC have achieved over the years. On to the next chapter in this book of life, looking forward to many more years with my husband, traveling and spending time with my family. Family is very important to me, and I would like to share this quote from actor Michael J. Fox. "Family's not an important thing, it's everything." Thank you for this opportunity to share my story.
Thank you, Wendy. And I think some of you can hear the story of volunteer to board member to staff. And I'm very happy that they made you an offer you could not refuse. So that's very good. So at this time, let's give a round of applause to all of our Ignite presenters one more time. Very good. We do hope all of you out there in the audience can have those takeaways from this session where you found that nugget that resonated with you, that helps you grow, challenge yourself, and take on that new opportunity that's out there in the credentialing industry. So at this time, I am pleased to welcome back to the stage our fearless leader, well, at least for 3 more minutes, Jana.
Thank you to our Ignite presenters. That was so fascinating, and I can see myself gliding into retirement now. So I really appreciate that. The future looks bright. So I apologize. I need to find out where I am. Oh, I'm in San Diego at the ICE conference. That's right. See, I knew this would happen. I'm all thumbs and no fingers. Thank you again to all of our volunteers who support ICE throughout the year. I would especially like to thank my fellow board of directors. In 2020, we will welcome Karen Plaus, Terry Hinckley, Catherine Dower, and Sarah Blair Lake. Please stand as we welcome you to the board. My only regret is that I only had the opportunity to sit in one meeting with you. So much exciting individuals with knowledge that is going to help the organization move forward, and I thank each of you for coming on board. In addition, Danya Eder, Isabel Gontier, and I will be rolling off the board in 2019. Danya and Isabel, please join me on the stage as we thank me and you for all of my and your hard work. We'll pretend Danya's in the middle here. Thank you. It's been amazing working with the board these last 6 years. Sorry Danya's not here. You get to know each other really well when you're stuck in a room. Denise locks the door. And you have to make decisions about how is this organization going to continue and grow, and how are we going to serve the needs of our members. And as hard a work as it was, it has been truly rewarding. I am also extremely thankful for the dedication of the NCCA commissioners. Thank you for giving your time throughout the year. In 2020, Kevin Bradley, Ben Price, and John Wickett will be joining the commission. Please stand so we can welcome you. It's no secret how much work it is to be a commissioner, and I'm always shocked that people actually volunteer for that. Isabel Gontier and Amin Sayar will be rolling off the NCCA Commission in 2019. Please come to the stage. Again, Isabel. It's all about Isabel, isn't it? We want to recognize your hard work. She won't leave the stage. Isabel, I've still got 3 minutes left. It's about me. Really, thank you so much for your extremely hard work. Amin makes it fun, and he made me realize that psychometricians don't have to be boring and just about the numbers. It has been an absolute pleasure serving as your board of directors chair this year. Thank you for your support and for the honor and helping me make this year one to remember for both myself and ICE. It is now time that we pass the gavel and pass along the leadership of ICE. I'm very proud to welcome Nick Soda. I knew I would do that. Rick McSoto, whatever his name is. Nick Soto, our 2020 chair. Please join me on the stage. If he does a really good job in 2020, it was because of my mentoring. If he does a bad job, it's all on Nick. I would also like all of our past ICE presidents and chairs to come to the stage so we can give Nick a very warm welcome to his new role. Any chairs and presidents? Linda? Denise? Cindy? Now they have to get in line by the order that they were chairs or presidents, and we always forget the order. No, we got it? And that's Cindy Durley, my executive director and our fearless leader at Danby. Oh, good. Somebody brought that up. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to heft it, but Cindy's got bigger muscles than I do. Okay, here we go. Oh, it is heavy. Oh, yeah.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce Jana's last name, but thank you, Jana. I appreciate everything. And thanks everyone for being here, and I'm excited to really jump into this role next year. I'm excited also that next year is in my hometown. Miami will be the ICE Exchange, so mark your calendars for November 8th through the 11th. And we still have plenty of conference left here, so thank you all for being here, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.
This concludes our program for today. Please join us in the Innovation Hall for dessert and connection activities.
Thank you.